This time on DC On Screen, SDCC 2020 cancelled. The Batman delayed. The Flash a month earlier. Shazam 2 delayed. JJ and Justice League Dark is confirmed. Plus, who is the DC Feige? Will Tom Ellis renegotiate himself a devil of a deal? What villain would we like to see headline a feature film? Sweet, merciful row. How did we even fit all of this into an hour? It's not even a comprehensive list. I'm so excited my nipples could cut glass. And so they may. After this word from our mystery sponsor.
Attention car shoppers. Right now at South Carolina Federal Credit Union, you can get a new or used auto loan and pay nothing until 2024. And no payments for 90 days means nothing out of pocket going into the new year. Plus, we have flexible rates and terms, so you could make the best financial choice for you. Learn more at scfederal.org/autoloans. That's scfederal.org/autoloans. Certain restrictions apply. Existing South Carolina Federal credit loans are excluded.
Welcome into DC On Screen episode 592. I'm David C. Robertson, and this, the man with whom I conversate in a manner most unbefitting, Jason Goss.
Hello.
On this podcast, we talk about the DC Comics multiverse on film and television, give honest opinions on projects upcoming and past, and believe that every version of a property is valid, even if we really don't want it to be. If it's been released, it is fair game. So beware of spoilers, and welcome to the show. Hello, man. How are you?
Exhausted.
I hear you.
How you doing?
I'm okay. I am, as previously stated, supposedly essential. Mm-hmm. So I am still going to work. And as you and I have discussed, and maybe even on the podcast, we're just adding hours of quarantining behavior, of sanitization behavior to our already busy lives. So
yeah, I gotta go shopping tomorrow. That'd be a joy.
Yeah, I'm on my last Diet Cola.
Yeah, I'm going between babysitting and helping finish up a house.
Mm-hmm.
I installed trim all day. Yay!
Mm-hmm.
And I've been up since 3 this morning, which means I'm on about hour 18 and some change right now.
That was not the relationship you thought you were going to have with Trim in your youth.
No, I was hoping for something much more engaging. I wouldn't have the energy. Well, I lack the will and the energy for any other kind right now.
Oh, man. What's my spirit is willing, but the flesh is spongy and bruised?
Yeah. Right now, it's more like the spirit is willing, but the flesh is just too fucking tired.
Yeah. Oh.
Or more realistically, the flesh is tired and aware that there's someone in the next room.
Mm-hmm. Well, before we pucker our sphincters and splash around in the frosty shallow end,
yeah,
I do want to thank our wonderful supportive patrons who pay us money for
even in these difficult times
for phrases like that.
Right.
I'll be posting a review of the second installment of Batman: The Adventures Continue in the next day or so. Mm-hmm. And, of course, we have the normal ad-free show, Chasing Squirrels, Marvel reviews, those little things. And, things are a little helter-skelter.
Yeah.
We have been busier in this time of quarantine and COVID caution. Mm-hmm. So thank you for supporting the show during these tumultuous times. It is very much appreciated.
Yeah.
You really have no idea. And we all love you.
Yeah.
Or we both love you all.
All of those versions. Every version of those words.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, pull list is obviously kind of hard to do with there not being pull lists right now.
Yeah. And most shows are now kind of faltering into a break period, and everything's getting shortened. And so, you know what? I have to admit, though, I don't know if there's any James Bond fans in the audience, but my wife and I started a James Bond binge show. Mm-hmm. called Breaking Bond, and it's not on Apple Podcast yet. It has been submitted. I'm waiting on it to be approved, but it's on Spotify and a number of other services. If you guys are interested, I have posted links on Twitter. So, yep, our first episode was released Friday, and the first review, which is of the 1954 climax episode, adaptation of Casino. It's a live adaptation, so it's like a play on television, which is what they did back then.
Beautiful.
And features a very, very American Barry Nelson playing James Bond, or Jimmy Bond, as his friends call him. Yeah, it's real weird. Yeah. It's real weird. So, yeah, we're having fun with it so far. Good. All right, so let's get into some DC stuff.
Before we both fall over. Shoot.
Yep. SDCC is canceled.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Kind of saw that coming.
Straight up, y'all.
They were SDCC. Talking about having an online component of some kind, but I don't know if that's going to be a thing either.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I've heard some stuff about that. I'm pretty sure they'll still be releasing stuff on the appropriate dates, in some manner. So I'm not getting my hopes up in any regard. And by that I mean to say, really, I'm sad for anyone who was going to San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah, it's a huge deal. You get excited about it all year. It sucks.
Absolutely. And it's a lot of fun to see all the cool stuff. A lot of effort's been put into
costumes and shit.
That said, it's the busiest time of year for us. And it is like 2 solid weeks of hell.
It is the hardest figure out show episode we put together all year. Easily. By not even... There aren't contenders.
Right. It's one of those things where every news outlet wants to pick apart every little thing that's said and make it into its own news article, and none of it is really news. Mm-hmm. It's hard to figure out which part is really news. And they don't give you context because they want to give you spin. Mm-hmm. It's really aggravating. So, Yeah,
it takes a while. Takes a while to sort through that stuff, but I presume at this point we're still going to get some of the teasers. Yeah. I mean, we'll get trailers over the summer. I just don't know how to time it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you used to be able to count on, we're going to have a lull for about a month before, and then it's going to ramp up and all that. I mean, you got none of that now. We're just going to, it's the Wild West out there, man. We're just going to see what happens.
Mm-hmm. And look, we've got some new DC release dates. So right now the slate stands with Wonder Woman 1984, August 14th, 2020. The Suicide Squad remains August 6th, 2021. Mm-hmm. The Batman has moved from June 25th now to October 1st, 2021.
Yeah.
Black Adam is at December 22nd, 2021. And The Flash moves up a month. It moves a month earlier to June 3rd, 2022.
Flash don't care about time.
And apparently Warner Brothers don't care about Ezra Miller choking somebody.
Yeah.
So, yay!
I'm still waiting to see if there's anything more going on with that, but I haven't seen anything.
I once the police came out and said, hey, nobody was called, I think that might be probably the end of that news cycle. Yeah. And it was oh, well, I mean, I haven't seen anything else about it. Everybody shut up.
Yeah. I sure wouldn't mind hearing any kind of first-person accounts that were verifiable, but I haven't seen those. That's really what I was waiting for.
And now we've got Shazam 2 is November 4th, 2022. Sorry. Wait, what? I screwed that up. It is now November 4th, 2022, and it's being moved from April 2022. That's what I mixed it up in my own brain. And now we've got Aquaman 2, December 16th, 2022, which I don't think that was even moved.
Yeah, it might have been so far out.
Yeah.
So short of Aquaman and Flash, just move everything back about a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
That'll give you a rough idea.
And, except for the Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad hasn't moved at all.
Yeah, but they said they were in such good shape with that they can work from home effectively. So that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. So, all right. So over to the Batman. Matt Reeves was given an interview with the Daily Beast, by the way, and they asked if there would be some politics in the Batman in regards to a billionaire fighting crime.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, you use those surface elements of it and you explore them in a way that I feel they haven't been explored yet. Nolan had a brilliant take on them, and so did Burton. Everybody has a particular take. For me, I knew that I would be coming into a history of some pretty great movies, and I didn't want to just do a Batman film. I wanted to do a Batman film where I was allowed to explore the things that matter to me. I was really lucky that they were very excited about that take. The movie that we're making, which is now on pause, is absolutely made in the context of today. It doesn't ignore any of that. I think that becomes incredibly exciting. It's like any great tale that you can keep revisiting through the context of the times, and also through the context of human experience, and find new ways to come at the character that illuminates something that's meaningful to you and hopefully meaningful to an audience. And then he talked a little bit about how like being on pause has given him a little more creative freedom. He says there is that thing too when you get to push pause. I've worked on some other movies where for various reasons you have a shutdown, whether it's an actor gets sick and needs time to recover, or actually one time I got sick and needed to recover. I do find that anytime you're in the midst of something enormous where you can suddenly stop and take a little stock of where you're at, that can be a creative gift as well.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's pretty much all for movie news.
Yeah, it was going to be like.
Yep. 11 minutes in.
Yeah, that's a record.
God. And we're jumping to TV.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest news that I've seen aside from San Diego Comic-Con being killed and the release dates actually being announced is that J.J. Abrams and Bad Robot are confirmed to create a Justice League Dark series for HBO Max. And they're not just doing that. They're doing like a Shining spinoff called like The Overview. So that's cool. I like Stephen King, so I'm interested in that. And
I looked at I looked at the titles that that they were coming up with, and really all I cared about was the Justice League Dark, I think.
Yeah.
That's all that caught my eye.
And I think I don't know. I like J.J. Abrams okay. I guess I'll get into it a little bit later, but with listener questions. But I'm not huge on the mystery box thing that he does. But what I had fun with though is one of our listeners, Baxter Hill, asked, "What's your roster? Not casting, but your roster for J.J. Abrams' Justice League Dark." I got Deadman, Zatanna, Intrigan, Swamp Thing, Constantine. So, and me personally, I thought that was a fun question for the cast. So I asked the listeners. Jason Smith told us I, Vampire, which I just never remember that character.
Yeah.
I just never remember.
It's a left field pull, but okay.
Yeah. I, Vampire, Constantine, Intrigan, Kid Eternity, Zatanna, and Madame Xanadu. Nerdy Tastic.
Not bad.
Nerdy Tastic, if I can say that. She said, I want a proper Dr. Fate. I didn't think about that, but
that one's important for me. Yeah, that was going on my list.
Brandon Bayham said, Swamp Thing. Give me whoever else, but please, for the love of all things holy, give us a proper Swamp Thing. I don't know if that means that he didn't think DC Universe's Swamp Thing was proper. I thought Swamp Thing himself was pretty proper.
Swamp Thing himself was, I've never seen that done better. But it was what surrounded it. There were some production problems, and the writing got truncated, and it was a mess. But
no,
and it was one of those shows where like the parts of it that were good were really good, and the parts of it that were bad were just kind of bad. It needed guidance that it didn't have. But that was one of those questions where I kept seeing updates to it, and I just could not. I could not find the time to actually sit down and look through everybody's responses. But I kept seeing like little notifications about so and so. Oh, it's a good crew. Oh, it's a good crew. Oh, it's a good crew.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's probably Zatanna, Constantine, either one of the big Celestials, like a Phantom or Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate would be great though.
Yeah.
Really wouldn't mind Phantom popping in, but that's that's some serious firepower. Yeah, Detective Chimp. Pretty great.
Yeah.
I think that would make a fine addition to anything. Man-Bat's been added kind of recently. It's been kind of fun. He's in this. He's in the current series, and I enjoy it. I'm forgetting somebody, but I'm just so fucking tired. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm going as hard as I can.
Our
something would be important to me too, though.
Our buddy Chris Baga over at World's Finest True Believers, he said John Constantine, Swamp Thing, Phantom Stranger, Dr. Fate, Zatanna, Madame Xanadu, Intrigan, and Detective Chimp. That's a great cast right there. Bearded Geek 19 says he seconds that choice, and he wants to throw in Nick Necro as a villain as well as Felix Faust.
Ooh, Deadman. Love to see some Boston Brand going on.
That's great. Eli Hernandez says Zatanna, Constantine, Swamp Thing, Deadman,
Bam.
and Black Orchid.
No, not
bad. Ryan Hulsman.
Too damn shabby.
Ryan Hulsman says, give me Constantine, Deadman, Zatanna, and Swamp Thing. I'll be happy. Just hope that we don't lose Matt Ryan from Legends. It's a multiverse. Let's embrace it by getting another actor. Now, me personally, I feel like Legends doesn't go a full year. We could do both. We can have Matt Ryan. I say I want Matt Ryan as Constantine. I want Derek Mears as Swamp Thing. They don't even have to be. They can be in a shared universe in their own right. I mean, we know that we've had Constantine show up in the Matt Ryan's Constantine show up in the animated universe as well. So which is separate. So I'm good. I just like Matt Ryan.
I mean, if you find me somebody that's entertaining, I'll take it. But it would not hurt my feelings a bit if Matt Ryan is involved, and it's possible. I mean, storytelling wise, it's possible.
Yeah, there's a lot of people I would like to see over the course of a series. Starting out, though, I really want a mixture of Justice League Dark and Shadow Pact, and then spin the Shadow Pact characters off into their own show.
Yeah, get you some Nightshade and shit going on.
Yeah, like I would do, Swamp Thing,
Blue Devil, all that.
Constantine, Shade, Detective Chimp, Lady Xanadu, Ragman, and Blue Devil, and then slowly bring in like the bigger people like Phantom Stranger and Dr. Fate and stuff. As you like phase out smaller characters and put them into the Shadow Pact.
Yeah, that'd work for me.
Here's my question to you though. Mm-hmm. Would you want it tied into more of a TV universe, or would you want this to be like Justice League Dark in the DCEU? Because you could totally, if you do that, you could totally like grab freaking what's her face? I can't remember her name now. The girl that played Enchantress in Suicide Squad. Throw her in.
Oh, Caroline Devner or something.
Oh no, Cara Delevingne. That's it.
Cara Delevingne. There we go. All right. So hey, teamwork. Yeah, I could go either way. Now, I didn't get to actually read it, so to be sure, is this going to be a series or a movie?
It is. It looks like it's a series.
Okay. So in that case, you've got plenty of room to play with like that. I like the idea of it being something like that. Oh God, the villains could be amazing.
Could be.
I only have one request for the villains. Don't make it that little twerp that I'm always annoyed by. What's his name? With the cat.
Clarion.
Clarion. Oh, yes. Clarion the Devil Boy or whatever it is. I always just find him... The Witch Boy, yeah. He just always annoys me. But as far as which universe, because the crossover, because the Crisis kind of already made the DC universe and everything else effectively a part of a multiverse, I don't think you can do a version where it's not part of it in some way. Because when they brought in the DC universe stuff, which is going to move to HBO Max, I think inevitably, and in some cases definitely, like Doom Patrol will be re-aired there and stuff like that. It's hard to separate it completely. So it's just a matter of, do you want to make it a separate entity and not worry about it, or do you want to try to tie everything in? And honestly, for story purposes, and just because I want them to get it right, and I want them not have to deal with the other stuff. So right now, I would say let HBO Max write their own story, play their own game, and do their own series, and then we'll tie everything in if we like it.
Yeah.
Don't try to get too fancy. Just do a good job with season 1.
Fair enough.
Plenty of time to play with it later.
So someone asked Mark Guggenheim if there were any deleted scenes from Crisis on Infinite Earth, and he says yes.
Must have been.
And he said yes, and we just completed the visual effects on them.
Nice.
And then another person wrote, "Do you guys usually complete the effects on deleted scenes? That seems odd." And he says, "Not if we're planning on releasing them."
Yeah. That's going to be a DVD you can go grab at some point.
And then he says, "One day I'll be able to explain, but nothing more special is coming, I'm afraid." So because a lot of people were like, "Wait, what does that mean?"
You've already got what you're going to get. Just calm down and wait.
But we do know that all of Crisis on Infinite Earths is going to be available on the Season 8 Blu-ray of Arrow.
Oh, good. That is nice. I mean, I would love to have a supercut of it. Just take all the intros and outros for the shows and just make it a thing.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be fucking glorious. I mean, I've got all the episodes pinned on, Amazon Prime is where I keep all of my digital stuff. So I've got them all pinned, but, I'm still going to click through and then remember which one aired first and all that crap. It'd just be nice to be able to hit play and sit down for 3 hours and just really geek out.
Oh, yeah.
Spend another hour watching deleted shit. Oh, wonderful.
So Grant Gustin was talking to TV Line, and he said there was going to be a big fawn cliffhanger at the end of what this season would have been, but that's not going to be the cliffhanger we get. Episode 619 success is assured is going to end up being our finale. So we're going to have a different cliffhanger than originally planned. But the cliffhanger at the end of 619 does serve as a pretty good finale. And that's going to air May 12th. Stargirl takes over the time slot May 19th.
Okay. Well, that gives us a little insight about how they're going to end up having to deal with this. Because I think last time we talked, we were suspecting, like, I think we may be getting finales through the summer. CW's not afraid of that. Supergirl's finale was in, June last year?
Yeah.
iZombies, I think, was behind that. Of course, they're a mid-season show anyway, but still. So, okay, that makes sense, though. But this is bigger. I mean, this is different than scheduling difficulties. We had to shut down production completely. Nobody's in Vancouver for a while, kind of shit. I still don't know. Like, it's going to be a weird time because there's some U.S.-Canada stuff going on right now as far as how open the borders are going to be. And man, they are real tied up in Vancouver. Crew live there year-round waiting for production to come back. It is going to be an interesting time going forward. See how that all shakes out.
Speaking of figuring it out and shaking it out, Lucifer Season 6 is apparently in jeopardy. TV Line says that Tom Ellis already had a deal in place for a 6th season, but apparently he doesn't like the terms of that deal. And he's kind of gone back and said, I want something different. And they kind of gave him a couple of different better offers, and he's still not happy. The Insider apparently wrote, everyone wants Tom to be happy, but there is a limit, and it has been reached. So
fair enough.
I wouldn't be surprised if and the general idea is that they had a deal in place for a possible season 6, but season 5 was really kind of set up as the final season.
Oh, that last scene, I could totally have dealt with that being the final.
Oh, we haven't even seen season 5 yet.
Oh, wait, what? Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong season. All right, so season 4 is the Netflix one. Yeah, all right, so I could have dealt with season 4's finale just being the finale.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's good. I was off on the numbers there.
And then Netflix, I feel like, has gotten greedy because Lucifer remains the top rated or the top trending show or whatever. It's
highly rated, but I'll give him this. As far as bargaining power goes, as highly rated as Lucifer has been popularity-wise, Tom Ellis's portrayal has been even higher. I mean, he is one of the most beloved portrayals, I think. And we really didn't know when he was on network TV because I didn't see these numbers. But then once he got off and all the streaming numbers came out and all that crap, it's just, I mean, I'm not even just disagreeing. I love his version of Lucifer. But how fucking Lucifer would it be to bail on the last season and pull a diva move and bounce?
That'd be funny.
I mean, that's worth a slow clap if that's how that goes down.
Yeah, I think so. We've got Harley Quinn, the complete first season from DC Universe, coming to DVD on June 2nd, and it's going to retail for $24.98. No word on Blu-ray. I'm assuming they're wanting to keep the high-def stuff for DC Universe, but
could be.
For the people who don't subscribe to DC Universe, I think, if I didn't subscribe to it, I think Harley Quinn, the complete first season, being on a DVD shelf in Walmart would totally get my attention.
Yeah. I mean, if I was... I just refuse to buy physical copies of stuff now because I already have enough stuff. But if I was still buying it, then yeah, that would totally get me. I mean, I'm really not using the normal conventions over there. Like, that's pretty quick for a DVD to come out.
Yeah.
And it's also just the fastest I've ever seen another, like a season 2 show up after a season 1 in my entire life.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost season 1.5.
Yeah, I think the show, based on what the showrunners are saying, the show has done really well, but they want it to do better, and I think they're really trying to get it seen by as many people as possible before a possible HBO situation happens.
Yeah, I don't blame them. I mean, I know it's all owned by Warner Brothers, but there are going to be inside parts of this that need to be dealt with, and if your show has good numbers, you get more leverage. I mean, that has to be what some of these people are thinking.
And I'm not even saying the DVD is going to do that well, but just seeing it is a thing in existence because a lot of people don't even know what DC Universe is really. Like a lot of people I work with who love DC, they don't know what DC Universe is. I'm like, yeah, you got to watch this. And they're like, where's that? What channel is it on? I'm like, it's on DC Universe. It's a streaming service. They're like, oh shit, I don't want to do that.
I get it. It's a little off.
So it's not going to be on Netflix? No.
No, just no. I think the exception is overseas. They've been sending stuff to Netflix, but short of that, sorry. If you're in the U.S. and you don't have it, you're not seeing it.
That's right. All right. Yeah, I think it's time for us to take a little break and then come back with some listener questions.
It's Superstart Battery Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get up to a $25 gift card after rebate with the purchase of select Superstart batteries. Our professional parts people will test your old battery for free and recommend the right battery for your vehicle. For power, performance, and reliability, choose Superstart batteries only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We are back with listener questions. Now, I did answer this online, but our buddy Jason Smith asked, "Is J.J. Abrams the Feige of the DC universe?" When I posted the news about Justice League Dark, and I would say no. Most likely, he is the guy who will tinker with the pilot's story. He will assign a team to run the series and call himself an executive producer.
That's his MO, man. I mean,
Yep.
he just does not get in all that involved. He's very flighty. It seems like he comes in. He's got a big banner, works for him.
Yeah,
He
it's like
gets the ball rolling and says, "Well, next project."
he comes in, looks at a project, looks at his mystery box. In many cases, he creates the mystery box. Touches the tip of his dick to it, smears a little pre-cum on it, and walks away, and it's magic for a minute. It doesn't always work. There's always got to be Alcatraz.
You know, that's a good point. He is kind of a fluff girl in a way.
He is a little bit, yeah.
Because he's definitely not doing the bulk of the work, I think. I mean, you know, over the course of the series is what I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
Like Kurtzman and Ordsey have done a lot of his work for him.
Yeah, they were in charge of the good seasons of Fringe.
Yeah. Back when we were still really enthused about that. And then I think when he got to Star Trek, I believe they took over a fair amount of the work as well.
Oh, I mean, they were the writers on that. Yeah, Carlton Cuse and Damon Lindelof did Lost. Kurtzman and Orsi did a chunk of Fringe, and then moved to the Star Trek films. And then Damon Lindelof came over and started working on that with them as well. But
that's how it works. I mean, that's a type of person in Hollywood. It's just some people get to a point where that's what I'm not trying to call the guy lazy. That's his job. That's what he does.
Oh yeah,
Greg Berlanti does the same thing, and I mean, I generally love the stuff that he's got his hands on. But he comes in, gets it pointed in the right direction, and says, "Cool, call me if you need me."
And like Nerdy Tastic was telling me, she didn't want to see any mystery boxes and stuff. You know, I'm like, dude, like, I mean,
depends on what the mystery box looks like.
JJ, if you don't like JJ's style, he does train his people to make things like he do. Like, that's just what he does. Like, they mystery box like JJ, they lens flare like JJ, they shaky cam like JJ, and often they fail to stick the landing like JJ.
Often. I have.
And
wasn't it some years ago, somewhere after the Star Trek film in particular is what I'm thinking of, where didn't he have an interview somewhere where he kind of said, "You know what? I watched it. There's too many lens flares and too much shaky cam. I'm going to be minimizing that."
Yeah.
And those were genuinely my two biggest problems with that movie. When I watched it the first time, I was like, okay, well, I feel like I need to get glasses, and I don't think I knew what happened for portions of the film.
Yeah. But, you know, for me, though, I don't like shaky cam. I don't mind lens flares most of the time, but the sticking the landing part is always the trickiest part of the mystery box, though, because when you're building upon a mystery box season after season of a show, and the viewers wind up with way higher expectations and way higher and always cooler ideas. Yeah. Like, for what's in that box.
Oh, I just started watching...
like, the show just never delivers it. They can't. There's no way.
Have you heard of Mythic Quest at all?
No.
So, you know Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny, creator of It's Always Sunny?
Okay, yeah.
Mac on It's Always Sunny. So this is his show that's for, I believe, Apple TV. It's got Danny Pudi in it, just to give you some recognition of it. But the whole thing's about, like, it's the behind the scenes... so it's like behind the scenes single cam for Apple TV based on, like, it's kind of a World of Warcraft, and they're putting out an expansion pack to it, and then the goings-ons and whatnot. But one of the things they've done, and I only got to like the second episode, and it's kind of fun, but they have this thing called like the Masked Man, and it's been like years running in this universe, and they keep building up more and more mystery to the Masked Man, and you know, secretly behind closed doors, only he and the head writer know that they have no fucking idea who the Masked Man is. Where they just keep like, no, it's gonna blow your mind, blah blah blah. It's actually good. They had a series of clips of him, and they used his facial hair to indicate how long it had been. Like at first, he was real excited about it, and then he gets into like, all right, well, I mean, just calm down. You'll know when you know. And then after a while, it's like, just stop asking. We'll get to it. We get to it. Yeah, he starts getting now just pissy with the fans about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that's the back. That's sometimes it feels like that's the conversation that we're not seeing. Is that, oh, dude, I don't even know how I'm going to pay this off.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
We bit off so much. How do we chew?
Speaking of Mac from It's Always Sunny, he had one of my favorite bits in Lost. Like he was a fan of the show.
The guy that keeps getting popped in the nose.
Like he keeps getting hit in the head. Yeah, and it's just like twice. It's like once in like season 1 or whatever, or season 2, whenever. And he was one of the others, and Kate just like takes his rifle and hits him in the head with it.
Yeah, like I remember the bit. You told me about it at some point. I remember the bit being just that he never got any real screen time, and they just keep bludgeoning him.
It was just twice. Like he shows up as one of the others, like he's a guard or whatever, and he just gets knocked in the head with the butt of a pistol or a butt of a shotgun,
whatever they've got there.
And then like literally at the end of the show, after all these years, we haven't seen him again, and he shows up one more time and he confronts Kate. He has his gun, and he's like, "You don't remember me, do you?" And she's like, "Yeah." And she just like hits him in the head with a gun and knocks him out again.
That's glorious.
But yeah, I think there is something to be said for mystery boxes. I think they're great for keeping viewers engaged, but they're terrible for leaving them satisfied when it's all done.
It's hard. Like the biggest problem I think with them, and I don't think it's avoidable. I really don't. Is if you leave something on the table for too long, people start to write their own version of it, and then inevitably you disappoint a fractured group of however many people and however many theories. And it's something I really, I think they learned their lesson a little bit, or Lindelof did on the Watchmen series. Yeah, there were mysteries, but that was 12 or 13. Anyway, it was however many weeks it aired consecutively. You had a week to talk about it around the water cooler, but then once it was over, it was over, and most of the mysteries have been wrapped up. There's still, I mean, he left a little bit on the table as far as like there's some stuff to speculate about, but that was intentionally left on the table. For the most part, they came in, big mystery, lots of stuff going on, wrap it up, done. No time to get, have a fan theory you're so close to that when the real thing happens, even if it is as good or better, you just feel cheated because you're really into that theory.
Yeah. From what I hear, he kind of reformed with The Leftovers.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, but I have heard that was the transition as well.
And I mean, I would love it if Damon Lindelof wound up being the Martin Luther of the of the Church of JJ,
of the bad robot church.
He was like, perhaps it's not good to do this. Let me write my own version.
I just have one thesis. Finish your fucking story.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, if there is a Kevin Feige of the DC universe, I'm gonna go ahead and say it's Jim Lee.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's as close as we're gonna get right now.
Right now, yeah.
There really hasn't. It's been one of the things that's a problem. There really hasn't been a Kevin Feige. Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking about copying formulas or anything. I'm just saying that some things work because they're a good thing, and that's part of what Warner Brothers should have taken up. Is like, we need to have one guy
with a vision,
and presumably they did, and they fired him because they got weak.
That's right. And then they brought in another guy.
Looking at you, Sujihara.
They had him, and then they fired him because they're weak.
Right. Looking at you again, Sujihara. Wait, you don't care. You're unemployed but rich because you got fucking paid through the teeth to fuck this up. Asshole.
Yep. Franco Loves on Twitter says, "There's no reason Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman can't be in the Justice League Dark series down the line. She's a god, plus there's a lot of the timeline you can play with. Do you guys think it's too tricky to incorporate DC shows into the DCEW? Nope, I don't. Nope.
Proof of concept has been achieved, and Wonder Woman would be fantastic. I mean, she's in the Justice League Dark right now, series right now. I mean, she's effectively leading the Justice League Dark at the moment, and it's been glorious. Mm-hmm. Like some of the backstory with her and Cersei, just fantastic.
Yep. Baxter Hill, what if any impact do you think COVID-19 will have on next year's slate of CW shows? No breaks, shorter seasons, go long. I am still a champion, especially now post-crisis, of shorter main shows, 12-ish episodes, and then a true anthology show, another 12-ish episodes. That would make me watch CW shows again. I don't think it'll have much impact at this point.
No,
like,
not at this point.
Not at this point. It's just impossible to say. Like, it looks like they are actively cutting down their seasons and saying like, oh, well, it's gonna, we're gonna do this now instead. We're gonna cut our seasons short, so it won't have impact on the next season.
Yeah, the things that may impact it are, like I said before, relations with Canada are a bit weird at the moment and may continue to be weird. Now, that's not a complete deal breaker. There's plenty of places to shoot in the U.S., and that may be what happens. But it may, that could be a problem. That's kind of hard to...
If they wind up having to shoot someplace like Los Angeles or something, where
that's going to hurt.
Where it's more expensive to shoot and the licensing fees are out the wazoo for different things. They might have to cut it down to 10 to 13 episodes, maybe 16 episodes a season, and I wouldn't be opposed to that because I prefer that myself.
I do generally, but they also maybe can't afford to do that because they just don't have enough slate. Like, they've still got to fill up a year with new programming, and unless they have something else in the tank, that's just not going to be a thing. So
they just do it with reality shows.
I don't know if CW's prepared to do that.
They might not be.
I think they're really into the scripted for what it's worth. We just want 3 or 4 million viewers and we're good to go kind of thing. They can move to like Atlanta or something, but honestly, that just sounds very difficult to get the locations moved, get the entire process moved, actually find a way to schedule it around what is already happening in Atlanta, because that place is already booked anyway. But it's one of the cheaper places to shoot, so that's why people use it. I don't know. It's going to be weird. It's just going to be weird. Like, so U.S. and Canada is going to be weird. Talking virus-wise, we've still got to... the numbers are flattening a little bit right now, but we've still got to kind of see if there's another wave coming. That's a little bit dicey. And the only thing that'll affect is if it does, it's just going to keep things shut down longer. And the longer things are shut down, the more the TV's not going to be made and the harder it's going to be to get back to their schedule. But I will guarantee you this, they want to go back to normal as soon as possible. Yeah. I don't think they're going to change things how they do it going forward. Because if for no other reason, there's a lot of good attempts at a vaccination happening right now, and if that ends up being the thing, then this is a thing we can just kind of not have to worry about as much. Yeah, they won't have to change completely how we're doing things. It's gonna be weird, man. It is gonna be an interesting summer for TV. I mean, not actually watching it. There'll be nothing. Catch up on whatever you haven't. Go watch MASH or something, man.
Oh, I'm excited to catch up on
behind the scenes though.
I'm having a great time catching up on stuff. As I can.
With the 40 minutes I had before bed, I've been able to do a couple things here and there and catch up a little bit.
Yeah, I need to finish Ed. I need to finish Better Off Ted. I need to I need to catch up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because they're coming back this summer.
This weekend. It was good. I've been wanting to rewatch that again for a minute, and there's some upsides, but it will be an interesting summer as behind the scenes, definitely not in front of them.
All right, let's see. J. Scotty St. Clair on Twitter says, in addition to Joker and the long-awaited Black Adam, which DC villains would you give their own film and or limited series? Who do you cast and which filmmaker do you entrust the project to? Man, that's tough.
That is rough. You got an idea?
I would love to do a Lex Luthor movie.
Luthor would be fun.
I don't know who I would cast, though. I would probably want to cast relatively young and then move up in years.
Yeah, have the option to.
Yeah, but it also depends on, if they came and said, hey, if this is DCEU or what, because I would love to see Jesse Eisenberg get another crack at it. But then again, I would also love to see any number of people. I would love to see, if it was me writing and directing, I would love to see an elder Lex Luthor in his golden years, dealing with the choices that he made,
his legacy and all that.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Looking at all the technological advancements he brought to humankind, but also being basically known as the richest Charles Manson ever. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind getting to see kind of an older version of him where he's got a friendly-ish relationship with Superman at some point. Kind of a Magneto Xavier kind of thing. Where, they're technically enemies, but if there was none of this going on, they would be hanging out. They've just got too much in common at the end of the day, kind of thing.
Yeah, I would love that. Like elderly, maximum security Luthor out on the grounds, heavily
Superman
guarded,
with just a little bit of gray hair.
Yeah, absolutely. Superman just kind of floats down into the yard with just like a little graying on the temples.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, Luthor goes, "How's Lois?" Superman says, "She died last week." And Luther's just yes.
Their version of chess, if you had to do exactly the same scene, would be kind of like Superman would just kind of float down and be like knight to c7, and it would be understood that Luthor had previously at some point just moved his piece and be like, pawn to d5 or whatever, and just said at a normal volume, pawn to d5, knowing wherever he was. Superman heard it and just would come down with a ready move.
Yeah. What was funny is Matt was talking to, I was talking to Matt Carroll of the MCU cast, Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. And a lot of his, like, they were having this whole discussion about who would be great to play Xavier and Magneto in the MCU. And they were really asking initially the question, how do they move things up with the times and still have Magneto be a product of the Holocaust? And one of their listeners brilliantly suggested that they transfer it from the Holocaust to the Civil Rights Movement.
Yeah,
and,
there's plenty of other genocides that have happened since then.
Yeah, but tying it in with the same sort of thing, you could just move it forward, and it was still like the time you could have it in a now-ish time frame.
Yeah.
So, which of course brings me and Matt to figuring that Denzel Washington should be Magneto.
Oh, glorious.
And we were trying to figure out who should be Xavier. And I think Andre Braugher, dude that plays Captain Holt on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, as Xavier.
Oh, also glorious.
And as I was saying, talking about Luthor or aging Luthor, I was thinking like, oh my God, an aging Lex Luthor should be Andre Braugher.
Do something weird with it though. Get like Scott Bakula or some shit.
Oh God, why?
Because why not? What's he doing?
I don't know.
I don't know. Not that.
Not that, please. I do. You know what? That dude actually is pretty underrated. Like,
no, he's a great actor.
He always comes off as like sort of always tends to play like this really soft-spoken, like shucks kind of guy. But in season 3 of Enterprise, when the Xindi sent a probe and killed like 1 million people on Earth or something, they kind of did like a 9/11 thing where like they sent the Enterprise out to like find the people responsible or whatever, the Xindi and whatnot. And dude, like Scott Bakula as Captain Archer is like shoving bastards into airlocks and stuff. Like he's going Mal Reynolds on them. And I was like, you know what?
Damn.
You got me. Like, all right. I mean, I thought you were like an amiable, soft-spoken dude, but now it turns out you're like Jack Bauer over here.
There's some grit under there. Okay.
And I just now remembered like that they just like had him not part his hair to the side, and he had stubble as well. I'm like, that's weird.
That'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can give him my hair, the old villain part. I laughed when I realized I apparently have that. Oh, that's fun at least.
Yeah. But yeah, Jay Scott though says he wanted to resist the urge to double down on Batman's Rogues Gallery, but he really wants Bryan Cranston as Mr. Freeze.
I'd take Bryan Cranston as Freeze, Two-Face. Actually, those would probably be my top 2.
I'd love to see Bryan Cranston as Luthor. I know that's a common thing.
I mean, yeah. But he fits the bill pretty well. And
yeah.
There's no question about his acting.
We know he's great as Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
He was Gordon in year 1. He wants to be helmed by Lee Whannell, maybe? I don't know who that is. But if it's a film, but Noah Hawley as a series. And dude, Noah Hawley's the shit, all right?
I know that name. Who is that?
Legion. Showrunner for Legion.
Oh, fuck yes.
And showrunner for Fargo. Which I hear great things about. Every season takes place in a different time period, and I'm sorry, but you can't have my Noah Hawley. That dude's working on Star Trek, the next Star Trek movie.
He is busy.
That man is busy.
Fight for him. I can give you who my villain would be, but you're gonna have to help me cast him because
Okay.
I'm just
I'll give it a shot.
I'm not firing all the way, and I'm not.
It's
I think you're a better caster in general, even when I am on all cylinders. Sinestro.
Okay.
Got a fun backstory. The old, the old turned good guy turned heel thing,
Right.
or babyface turned heel. I think that's the actual wrestler terminology. Anyway,
Right.
anyway, he's got a fun backstory. It's the core, so there's all kinds of shit you can get into. You can write whatever the hell story you want to. It's Space Wild West. Go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And the greatest lantern, turning to a fear-based lantern. That's I think you can have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. I don't think I have to do any work to cast it. We just put Mark Strong right back in that makeup.
Right back where he came from.
Right back where he came from. Absolutely.
I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed at all. He is one of the the kind of body type that's like not too chesty. They're definitely fit, but it's slenderish.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like that's the body type I'd go for, but that's really all I can like. That feels right for me, for him.
Yeah.
He doesn't to me, Sinestro doesn't look like a guy who you immediately look at and go like, yeah, he's got like 2 leg days,
Right. Like if I don't know, like if the timing were appropriate, if I had a time machine, I'd probably like just pop back and grab Vincent Price and send him to the gym and say, "You're Sinestro."
Yeah.
But
you're Sinestro now. Make it work. Okay.
He would. He would too. Oh my God, he would.
I genuinely don't know who I could think of to grab him right now. Like the Sinestro we already had in 2011 was that was not one of the problems. Let's put it that way.
No, it wasn't. By the way, are you caught up on Harley?
I am. Yeah.
Did you notice in the museum they had an egghead reference? They literally had like a cartoon version of Vincent Price in the egghead costume. Like,
oh, that's funny.
One of Egghead's eggs. I was so pleased. I was ecstatic, you might say.
I was the best reference this season, at least, was the episode before Riddler takes over Gotham University.
Yes, that was fun.
And you realize they effectively had Jim Rash do a morning announcement.
Yep.
I had to pause. I was laughing so hard.
Yep.
Oh, it was good.
I looked at my wife. I was like, "He's the Dean again."
It's happened. 6 seasons in a movie.
6 seasons in a Gotham.
Yeah. There's a fun one. He's slender. He's got a nice sharp face. Let's throw Danny Pudi at Sinestro. See what happens.
Oh, I could do that. Yeah, I'd be happy to.
I'm never trying to see him actually like he's play evil on Community, and
right.
He's legitimately an asshole in this Mythic Quest thing, but I've never actually seen him try to do like genuine evil. I'd be kind of curious.
Yeah, I'd watch it. I'd watch any of these things.
I'd take it on a date. See what happened. I'd get his numbers.
All right, Stu Little over on Twitter says, if Justice League Dark Apocalypse War really is the finale to the animated universe continuity, what do you want to see in the next iteration of the animated movies? More standalones, a reboot, even a soft one that's like Rebirth? Any new cast you'd like to hear voice the characters?
Oh, that's hard.
I want standalones.
I think standalones they have a lot to offer.
Mm-hmm.
I've already told you the standalone I want is Deceased.
Yeah.
I want an animated Deceased. I just think it's the best format for that kind of story.
Mm-hmm.
And, turns out there's plenty of play for sequels and stuff like that. Like the Unkillables that is going on right now is just great.
Yeah.
Turns out Tom Taylor has a whole second part of the story ready to go when everything gets booted back up again.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit. I mean,
I would really love to see Silver Age stuff done. I want to see a proper New Frontier. Like, I know we have an animated
very
New
truncated
Frontier
version, though.
It is so truncated.
Yeah.
I
want a 2.5 hour version of New Frontier.
Yeah.
I feel like anything more would just be so much. That is a genuinely thick book, but still.
Oh, I want like a 3-part movie of New Frontier. That's what I want.
I'm down. Or do it like they did the Dark Knight.
And that's the great...
Dark Knight Returns. Like do 2-hour installments.
And I want every couple of years at least, I want animated installments continuing the Dark Knight Returns storyline. I want Dark Knight Strikes Again. I want Master Race. I want Last Crusade. I want, whatever that new one, Golden Child.
Yeah.
I want that story finished in animated form. And yes, please keep bringing back Peter Weller and Ariel Winter or whatever her name is.
Yeah, I don't know who else I'd voice cast. They have done a great job.
Dude, I want Brave and the Bold feature films. That's what I want.
Yeah, I'd be totally on board with that.
I still haven't seen Brave and the Bold meet Scooby-Doo, and I want to.
Oh yeah, we meant to do that. We haven't seen the other. I haven't even seen the last of the Adam West.
I haven't either. We still need to do that. We just got so busy.
Yeah. It was about the time we were like, man, we could look at all these movies we're gonna look, and then like 4 new shows just blossomed out of nowhere. Oh, okay. I guess that's where my time's going. You know what I might do if I were them though is just start with some fun stuff. Do like a JLA year 1 or something like that. Do some stuff that could have legs, but don't count on it. But do standalones, and if something really hits, just take advantage.
Oh my God, they need to put all resources into an accurately animated version of Kingdom Come.
Oh, yeah. Oh God, that'd just be incredible. And it would be a lot of resources.
Yeah,
because the visuals on that would be incredible.
Maybe even like, and I can't. You know that show that came out on Amazon? That's like, it looks like rotoscoped.
Yeah.
That's what they should do with it. They should do like
Undone, I think.
Yes, Undone. They should do that because one of the big criticisms of Alex Ross is that all of his people look like people in cosplay. All right, well, grab people in cosplay and then rotoscope that shit. Yeah. I would love to have Tim Daly or George Newbern or Kevin Conroy, whoever they want, like go to Mark Waid and say like, who did you hear in your head when you wrote Kingdom Come?
Yeah.
As these characters. And then just go with it. Let's flesh it out. Let's do it. And let's not make it let's do like a mini series, because Kingdom Come deserves a mini series.
It does.
There are plenty of things I would like to see.
I mean, if you had to ask me like series wise, what I would love to see, I want 5 or 6 movies just on the Dark Knight's metal thing.
Oh yeah. Oh, I want an animated everything that Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale did together.
Yeah.
Long Halloween, Dark Victory, the whole shebang. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Superman for all seasons.
Also good.
I can keep going.
Yeah, I mean, I could do some more standalones, but I mean, series wise, yeah, I think I honestly just business wise, I would just do standalones that I could count on, and if something caught fire, just roll with it. That's just how I would approach it.
That's fair.
And voice wise, Andrea Romano had such a good thing going. I don't know how much I would want to change.
I mean, she's done so many different versions. She was responsible for Peter Weller being Batman. I mean, just Diedrich Bader. Like, good Lord.
Just strokes of brilliance though across the board for the most part, and not even for the most part, probably just outright. And I mean, it would have to be a dose of genuine inspiration for me to come up with something better than anything she's done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel capable. I genuinely don't.
I know I'm not. All right, last bit. Travis Hines.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to see another season of the Justice League or Justice League Unlimited animated series? With DC Universe and soon HBO Max, wouldn't you want more content for those streaming services? Why not from an established property that you own the rights to? I don't want to see another season of it.
Not unless they have something very specific they're doing.
Yeah, and what I feel like is happening now is there's a splintering, because I've been reading this Batman Adventures Continue that's written by Alan Burnett and Paul Dini. And then Justice League was Bruce Timm mainly. And Dwayne McDuffie and a number of people who were involved in the old animated series. And there's a splintering of canon.
Is the schism that Paul Dini wants to tell a story and Bruce Timm wants to see them all naked?
Well,
that's a lot of what I've been saying.
Bruce and Dwayne were responsible for Epilogue and the big twist of that episode.
I remember that.
So that has nothing to do with being naked. The thing is,
Tim's MO these days.
And I don't know, like, he didn't do it in Fatal 5, which was nice.
Yeah, it was a good break.
It just depends on the project. I don't want to see another season. I don't want to see them like deviate from the DCEU any more than they already have. And I also don't want it to be like, oh, we just have to do like this like canned revival because the 90s are popular and people want this right now. Like, I kind of just want that version to go away now. It's sort of like, it's started to veer into what I feel like is the fear I had. At a certain point, I just stopped saying I wanted more Firefly. You know what I mean? Like, I just kept saying, like, nope, I'm good. Nope. I don't ever want a reunion. I don't want to see another movie. I don't want Serenity 2. I don't want Firefly, The Next Generation. I don't want any of this shit. It was perfect the way it was. I'll read the comics.
Comics are fun.
And have my dreams, and I don't need to see anything. I don't need Joss Whedon to come in with his now tarnished reputation and somehow make it
canonize
what it, you know. I don't know, man. I don't know if something happened to Joss Whedon.
Remember what I was saying earlier though about just when something's out in the open for so long, it starts to build expectations, and it fractures how many people you can please.
Right.
This may be one of those situations where, like, I get in spirit what you're saying. It was a great show, and I look forward to maybe one day being able to rewatch it. Like, I'm just fingers crossed that the little girl likes this stuff, because then it gives me a great excuse to sit down and watch every episode of everything again. Mm-hmm. Instead of fucking, I mean, Sesame Street's not even bad for child's programming, but I'm done.
Right. And you know what? I'll tell you this: if they wanted to come together, Paul, Alan, the whole shebang, wanted to come together and like show us Superman and Lois's life together post TAS and make sure that it was canon. Absolutely. That's one thing that I feel like we got shortchanged on quite a bit, is like, you know, Superman and Lois kiss in that last episode of animated series, and we never really get a lot more from them. Well, but you know, I'm iffy about how it all turns out for him based on Batman Beyond's The Call. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think I'd like to see how some of that played out. I would, you know, they could go into a lot of stuff with current, kind of take some inspiration from current stuff. I'd love to see a young John Kent. But
the time, I think, is very relevant. It's just been so much time that now, you know, you and I or anybody could sit down and talk about what might have happened, and we can talk about it and have a friendly conversation. I feel like at some point after enough time has passed, when something actually does happen and now there is more canon, somebody leaves that conversation disappointed.
Yeah. And, you know, for us, that Batman and Harley Quinn was a big point of disappointment.
Oh, God, it was just the worst.
And I refuse to acknowledge that as canon.
I genuinely do. Like, Batwoman's getting in there way faster.
Yeah. I was about to say, like, up to that point, I was like, Batwoman was the point of contention in canon.
No, I'll gladly accept her into the family. Batwoman's coming to Thanksgiving fucking dinner before Batman and Harley Quinn get even. They're getting the wrong phone number when they're asked about it, and then I'm changing my email.
Batman and Harley Quinn are like shoved over in the corner with Brainiac attacks.
I'll take Brainiac attack. I'll take campy bullshit all day instead of that.
Brainiac attacks, man. No.
I'll take 3 Brainiac attacks before I'll take 1 Batman and Harley Quinn.
Oh man. But anyway, yeah. So I think that's the answer.
Yeah. In spirit, I completely get what you're going for. Sure. And in practice, I don't think I actually would greenlight it if I had the option.
Yeah. I don't think I would either. Like, I think I would greenlight certain movies if I had a certain amount of like, that's the irony, is that they've always said that like all these shows, they were just like, Warner Brothers would always just come to them and say, okay, we want this kind of show now. We want to change it up, do this. And then they would go do that and then like not ask permission. They would just make it a part of the universe.
Yeah.
And they just kept doing that. And now I think I'm grateful that they did that. But now if I were in charge at HBO or wherever and was in charge of that, I would just be like, no, I'm going to need to actually know that it's part of the canon before I sign off on this.
Yeah. And you know what universe we're playing with.
We're going to actually have to sit down. If you say it's DCEU and we are going to go out here with our marketing team and say, yes, no, this is in the Justice League Batman Animated Universe canon, I'm going to need certain assurances. I'm going to need to see a script. I'm going to need to see like how it lines up. I'm going to see where it deviates, and we're going to need to fix those things. Like,
you know, honestly, like I could give or take some voice actors. It's been a while. Some people have gotten busy in different ways. Like if there was a thing that we were very sure about, and what's his name? God damn it, that's killing me right now. Superman's Tim Daly. Oh man, I need some cylinders back. You know, let's say we couldn't have Tim Daly. We had got Kevin Conroy, but we had to take some hits here and there. Okay, we'll talk about that. That I could deal with some of that. I think for me it would be like if Burnett, Tim, and Dini were sitting in the office in front of me, all telling me they were on board with an idea, I would really be open to it. But short of maybe those three sitting in a room being completely in agreement with each other, I don't know if I would really get too amped about it.
Yeah, and as for DCEU Superman, there's a lot you can do. You can do Tim Daly, you can do George Newbern, who did him in the Justice League series.
Yeah, that's kind of a point. Is there's play there.
If you can't get either of them, Tim's son Sam did Superman in I think Flashpoint. It sounds just like his dad. So
that's cool. That's really cool. Good to know there's a backup.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm protective of that universe, I think.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
And I was happy to see Fatal 5. I was happy to include that as part of it, as far as I'm concerned. But Newbern, Conroy, Eisenberg, you had all those cats. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, that's about where I am with it too.
That's the show. Thank you so much for listening.
And for writing in during these uneventful times to make them slightly more interesting and give us something to chat about.
Mm-hmm. And, you guys don't have to wait until the end of the week when I'm like, hey, we're recording tonight. You guys can always just send us shit, and we'll talk about it on the show.
Absolutely.
I'll just catalog it, throw it away, DConscreen.com for every episode for free. You got DConscreen@gmail.com if you want to email us. We're on Facebook and the Facebook group. We're in...
Yeah. We pretty well hold the market on the
Twitter,
the actual
Instagram.
One word DC on screen.
Yeah, man. We're everywhere. We might not
that shit locked down.
Yep. We might not have posted for a minute, but we'll see it if you post
it's
something.
Still ours. And we'll find you.
There are too many social media platforms.
You mean you don't have DC on screen at TikTok?
I actually do. I have never posted anything, liked anything, watched anything.
Just grabbed it.
I did. I did.
I'm laughing, but there's a DC on screen Discord I have just in case.
We're DC on screen on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Just in case. I have an idea how I might use that one day, and if we ever do, if it ever comes to fruition, hey, it's there.
Mm-hmm. Like, we don't have a DC on screen on Vero, but I'm on Vero and I'm verified, so that means something, right?
There you go.
Wasn't even hard.
Oh well.
Anyway, thank you
I'm
guys for
gonna go
listening.
fall asleep.
That's fair. I'm gonna go find something to eat.
I should do that first. That would be a good idea.
Yeah. Until next time, keep that DC on your screen. Our intro music is by Jason Goss and Michael Shackelford. Michael's band, Galactic Engineers of Magnetic Sounds, or GEMS, can be found on SoundCloud and Bandcamp. Visit DCOnScreen.com to find our Patreon, merch, contact information, and every episode of the show for free, including crossovers we've done with other podcasts. DC On Screen is a maladjusted production. For more from me and Jason, including sketch comedy, vlogs, parodies, and our improvised web series Hey Guy, visit maladjusted.tv.